Hello and welcome to anyone who dares witness Sephora's Master Action 52. By master, I just mean get far enough and do enough to get the retro achievements. And the first major one I'm going to go through, which is literally the second game, is Starevil. And dear God, it is a buggy mess. Actually, I think this is one of the least buggy games of the entire thing. So I have a strange feeling that this is going to be the easiest one of the easiest ones I have to deal with. And even that, it still took me quite a while, and it was quite the struggle. So I have decided, if you're just as crazy as I am to decide to master Action 52, I will do what I can to make the pain as minimal as possible. For trying to figure this stuff out is a feat in itself. So here we go as I show you how to beat Star Evil. Before we get into the actual game itself, you want to get into the options menu. And you go down here to settings, go down to achievements, and of course you want these on because you're going to need to get the achievements itself. And it is very important that you turn on challenge indicators because it's going to provide very important information that you need to be able to get what you need. And you will see why very soon. Now, for the very first important note that you're going to find out very quickly is when you start the game, this will happen. As you can see, you have very little time to actually do anything. And of course, you're going to have to get used to this because you're probably going to do this many times. You're going to have to do, move to the right. And by the way, you can't go into the walls either. So you have to completely dodge that, which is absolutely frustrating. There's a lot of notes that I could add to this. That if you are rapid firing, no ships will spawn. I don't think it has room to allow anything to spawn if you're constantly firing and mashing the buttons. As you can see, no ships are coming by. And as you can see, it's kind of nice. You don't have to worry about anything. But there's one major flaw with this. The boss won't spawn itself. So this is where one of the reasons you want the challenge indicators. Because if you see in the bottom right, you'll have 4 different numbers here. And the very top one is how much distance you are away from the boss. So I highly recommend that you stop firing rapid fire at least about 30 on the top number. So you can pretty much guarantee that the boss is going to spawn. And actually be able to progress into the game further. Also a note that you don't want to completely spam while killing the boss either. His health is indicated. And then once you beat him and that you reach that problem. So 2 things to note here. You don't want to spam the auto fire right before you kill the boss because it can potentially freeze or kill the boss and not move you to the next level. And then the second issue you just saw is be ready to move the moment you kill the boss, because just like the first level, you have very little chance to respond and dodge that first block thing of death. Okay, so I got back to the second stage, and of course, upon immediately dodging these 2 blocks when you start the level, either after you kill the boss or died, you're going to have to deal with these blocks, quite a bit of these blocks throughout the level. And I will show you a easier path to get to these things. Because if you try to go back and forth between the blocks that are going to be coming up, you will likely die because the hitboxes on this game is really wonky. Like they're like triangles. The front of your ship is thicker than the rest. So you want to go and take advantage of going right here squeezing to the right of these blocks so you don't have to go back and forth. And thankfully, when it comes to the wall, it is much more forgiving, and you can dodge easy by just hugging the wall. And hell, look, as you just see, sometimes the boss doesn't even spawn without having to spam it. So you still have to run into this problem. And let's see. and apparently, sometimes not the things can't even kill you. Apparently, I haven't had that happen before. That's the first time. Also, when you dodge that first initial block, you will also take like 2 points of damage no matter what. Unless you are moving forward at the same time, and then you take none. I don't understand how it works. I just know the hitboxes are wonky. And as I said, because I think the hitbox is a little bit thicker in the front. You also want to avoid that. You can't let them touch you either. How frustrating. Now, once you successfully beat the second boss, which I imagine will take a few tries, you will finally reach level 3. And if you notice by the level design, if you can call it that, that is a lot easier than just about any other level. There's barely anything to dodge and it's all out of the way. The biggest problem with this level is that the fact that it has the highest chance for the boss not to spawn at all, or when you do kill the boss, not trigger to go on to the next level. And it is really random. I haven't figured out anything that could potentially help here, because it's not, this one is not really affected by the hyperfire problem. And once you beat this boss, you will run into this. You get this pink screen, the music slows down, the game progresses a lot slower. And after you have gotten lucky enough to even get here by, the boss not bugging out, the thing I recommend that you do here is to not even really mess with the controller at all. Just kind of like put it down, leave it be, and let it progress. You don't have to worry about dodging or anything. And the biggest thing you have to deal with is pretty much just the weight. And even on this level, you still have to struggle with the fact that the boss may not spawn. And it's absolutely frustrating. Also, the challenge indicator that I mentioned earlier is really important here. As you can see where you progress, and the fact that you can see if the boss spawns or not. As it will show right here in this attempt that the boss does not even appear, and you can hear me frantically shoot and hit some ships. And what the biggest issue is here is that you have to find a way to get yourself killed by just moving around and hitting 5 ships, or just doing it all over again. If this is your last life, which was for me in this attempt. Now, I recommend that you hold still till the very end and hope when the boss spawns. If it does, move to the bottom right corner of the screen and mash the button as fast and as hard as you can and try to kill the boss before it kills you, because it is still kind of the same thing that all boss fights have been happening is still happening here, and they like to hug the wall. So all you can do is pray that you kill it before it kills you and reach the level 5, which is essentially the same thing. Now, sometimes the level will run at normal speed, and if it does, you're gonna have to worry about enemies. So I highly recommend you tap the fire button just to kill them, just to keep your health at the absolute highest, which is 5, because you want any chance you can to win against the boss. And all you can do is, just like before, just pray that you kill him before he does you. And if you're successful, like I'm about to get right here, as you will see, he spawns. I shoot him down and that can still happen to you. And now for the most important step and the last one. When you finally get here and you have prayed to RNGesus to give you all the luck that you need, this may finally happen. And then we wait till he dies. Wait for it. This happens. You get the achievement. And then you get this glitch fest. And something you can actually see. But you don't care. Because you have finally gotten that achievement. And you can bask in the glory of RNGesus in your favor. And if he gives you a little more than you have asked for, you get to see this rotten mess. And then you just die. So that's all the advice that I can give for you for achieving in Starevil. And I hope I have minimized the amount of pain you will endure while trying to do so through these tips. If they have helped you and you have appreciated it, please, I would appreciate if you hit a like on the video so it may be seen. And as I hope for everyone, achieve in game and in life.